Hey everybody, my name's Erik Amill and this is HoA Presents. In this video, I discuss the tools I use to work on my comic. This part is all about the paper, pencils, and pens I run to do the voodoo that I do every so often. Please excuse the odd sizing of the actual recording. I finally got my brand new rig set up and running and actually going nicely, and honestly, I completely forgot to check the settings before I hit record. So, please, sit back, get comfy, and enjoy the show. This is a video I've been meaning to make for a bit now. Not wanting it to be a completely boring talking head thing, please enjoy the creation of a cover page for the strip book while I go. First up, let's talk paper. For the strip, I use Canson products. It's not that I have any deep loyalty to them or anything, I've just found that they tend to work for me. On screen, you'll see the latest one, a drawing book, but I also really enjoy running the field books. They take inks like a champ. 7 by 10 inches is a nice portable size and fits my strip's 9 by 3.5 page sizing nicely. Again, this is just what I found works best for me and this particular project, and my desire for max mobility while working on the go. My main suggestion for running like I do, no matter what the sizes you pick, are to stick with spiral-bound books and cream-colored papers. Spiral-bound books fold flatter than those with hard spines when you go to scan them, and cream color is just super easy on the eyes while working, yet light enough to fade in while scanning. It'll look white to the scanner, trust me. Next up are pencils and erasers. Again, totally preference thing, so please just roll with what you're comfortable with. That's kind of like the mantra for this particular video, so you're going to be hearing it a lot. For the pencils, I stick with 4H lead. It's dark enough for me to see, but it's also hard enough to keep a nice light line while I manhandle my paper like it owes me money. For erasers, I stick with the white plastic types. It's cheap, widely available in my area, and is the stuff most often found in the click erasers that you can buy practically everywhere. Plus it's clean. No worries about it eating the paper from having an extra chunky rubber grind, or leaving weird pink streaks from lackluster quality control. Lastly is the magical Kneaded rubber eraser. It's used for pulling extra lead off of strips right before I ink, and it doubles as a fidget toy in a pinch. Lastly are the pens. This is the most preference style part, and what I personally use and can find locally in bulk. Microns are solid waterproof inks, but other brands are great too. Just trust me, see what works out for you. For the basic inks, I stick with 3 sizes. 005 and 01 are used for characters and fine details, while I use the 08 for inking the panel's actual lines, the little boxes that make up the comic. These are the ones I use most often, as I tend to drop in tones as backgrounds after I've scanned everything in. When I do want to make proper backgrounds, or there are extras in the scene to ink, I stick with 03 and 05. Both work for bolding lines and separating foreign background objects from the actual characters. I've been using the 02 lately for things like motion lines and smoke, as it's a really good middle ground from the 01 and 03, and it's a nice solid visible deal without being too heavy or way too light. The last bit of this group, for when I need spot blacks, I turn to my trusty brush pen. It's rarely ever used, but when I do, I always use it after I do my final cleanup, as a tiny amount of ink will lift off when erasing the pencil lines. And trust me, it's easier to lay those spots down last after I've cleaned everything off than have to go in and painstakingly retouch them later. And that's about it for this. I tried to keep this simple and open and light for a possible later talk on making the actual physical comics themselves. And let's be real, it was an excellent excuse to show off the latest Biff strip cover page. Thanks for watching. If you dug it, hit the like button and maybe share this with your friends. Want to see more of my work? Simply follow the links in the description below. You can check out my webcomic, Biff the Vampire, at sillyvamp.com. Maybe even scoop some merch to keep this art train going. Shout out to my backers on Patreon. Without your help, this wouldn't be possible. As always, till next time folks,